Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Unitarian Universalist Church of Corpus Christi. My name is Lauren Cantatori-Kazi. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm very pleased to be your worship associate this morning. Whether this is your first time here or whether you've been with us for years, both here in person and you folks joining us online, we unconditionally welcome you as your full, authentic self. We're excited to welcome you to our worship service this morning. We welcome all faiths and no faiths. In particular, we welcome you as you are and whomever you love and wherever you are on your journey. Our gathering together during this time has intention and purpose. This space at this time is holy and sacred. Though we may sometimes fall short of our ideals, we do come together with the intention to grow as spiritual and moral beings. To that end, each week we recite a covenant, which is not a creed, but a promise that we make to one another. We live within our values: interdependence, equity, transformation, pluralism, generosity, and justice, with love at the center. We have several announcements. The Humanist group will meet right after service today with Michael Causey in the Teal Room. The D&D gaming group, I know that the official D&D group isn't meeting, but are the regular? There is a group that's going to meet to play D&D at 2 p.m., and that'll be in the Raspberry Room. Everyone is welcome, even if you've never played before. We have a great bunch of people that would be happy to teach you everything to play that game. Our hospitality team could use a few smiling faces and extra hands, helping with greeting, making coffee, setting up for the time together after our worship service. If it sounds like something you'd enjoy, it's not an every week commitment. If we get enough people, we can make a team that can just do 1 or 2 Sundays a month. So it's not like an onerous obligation, and actually it's kind of fun, believe it or not. See Claire Houlihan for any details. The Board of Trustees meeting is on Tuesday, June 9th at 6:30 p.m. All are welcome to join. There is a Zoom link. If you go on the QR code on the back of your order of service, you can find a link to the e-blast, and in there will be the Zoom link. No, it's not in there. Okay. Okay, if you're interested in joining us by Zoom, please see me afterwards, and we'll make sure you have the proper link. Okay. The Texas UU Justice Ministry is hosting their last 3 Thursday action hours before taking a break for the summer. They'll be covering everything from voting rights to climate justice, ICE abolition to body autonomy. There's a lot of important work to be done, and we are always stronger together. This group is our representatives, and every legislative session they show up in Austin, and they fight, and you would not believe, even though it doesn't seem like we've made a lot of progress, you should see what they were able to stop. So this is a really important group. Okay, we have movie night. We have an ad hoc movie group now, and Friday night at June 12th, it's going to be at the home of Mark and Patsy Higgins, and it'll be at 7 p.m., and you can see Kirk to be added to the email list. Okay, and then one other announcement. Okay, so 2 announcements left. On Saturday, June 20th, the Coastal Bend Wellness Foundation is holding their annual gala at the Omni, and it's $75 a ticket, and if we wanted to get a group together, we could get a table for $600. And this is their annual fundraiser, and they do a lot of wonderful work for a lot of marginalized people. And if you want to get any more information, you can see Liz Cook. And then last but not least, on June 18th, Friday evening, here at U2C3, is a play called The Threadmen, and it's a two-person play, and this is being presented by Dakota, and he is one of the actors, and it is a $10 suggested donation, but please come and enjoy this evening. It's a short play, and it sounds really fun. I know it's a kind of serious subject, but getting together for theater is always a fun thing. Okay, I think we are finished with the announcements. Please also check your order of service so that if I missed anything, you'll be able to find it there. It's our custom in this church to offer visitors and newcomers a chance to introduce themselves if they feel comfortable doing so. If it's your first time here, or if you're just ready to say hello after coming for a little while, we invite you to stand as you are able, or raise your hand and tell us your name and where you are from. And Ren, back there, will have the microphone so that we can make sure the people online get to meet you as well. Are there any newcomers that would like to introduce themselves this morning? I see lots of new faces. Well, got one right back there.
Let's go. I'm Bill. I'm from here. I haven't been to church here in about 15, 16 years, something like that. I moved up to Colorado for a spell and come back a few months ago. David Bonham reached out and said, since you're back in town, I'm thinking about moving. So I was like, well, let me go meet him and see what I can do. I've been active on the pagan scene here in Corpus since the late 90s, except for 5 years whatever. And looking forward to checking out the D&D group because we'll play games more fun.
Welcome.
If you have any questions or you're a member of the Custard, please come say hi so I can start assessing where everybody's at.
Thank you.
The mic works now.
Is there anyone else that would like to? So, are there any other people that would like to introduce themselves this morning? Well, you are all welcome. I hope to get to know you. We want to get to know you, so please join us for coffee and conversation following the service. Our service will now begin. Please rise as you are willing and able to join in with this hymn.
Break firm my changeful heart, so
I would like to invite Tristan up to light our chalice while I share our chalice lighting words this morning. We light this chalice in the spirit of wisdom, compassion, and courage. For those carrying old wounds, may this flame remind us that healing is possible. For those burdened by fear, may this light reveal pathways towards trust. For those seeking forgiveness from others, from life, or from themselves, may this flame offer hope. Please rise, embody your spirit for the affirmation of our covenant. Love is the doctrine of this church. The quest for truth is its sacrament, and service is its prayer. To dwell together in peace, to seek knowledge and freedom, to serve human need to the end, that all souls shall grow into harmony with the divine. Thus do we covenant with each other and with all we hold sacred. You may be seated.
If I could tell the world just one thing, it would be that we're all okay. And not to worry, 'cause worry is wasteful and useless in times like these. I won't be made useless. I won't be idle with despair. I will gather myself around my faith, for light does the darkness most fear. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. Poverty stole your golden shoes, didn't steal your laughter. Heartache came to visit me, but I knew it wasn't ever after. We'll fight, not out of spite, for someone must stand up for what's right. 'Cause where there's a man who has no voice, there's our shall go singing. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. In the end, only kindness matters. In the end, only kindness matters. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. I will get down on my knees and I will pray. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken. My hands are small, I know, but they're not yours, they are my own. But they're not yours, they are my own, and I am never broken.
Good morning. Good morning. Awesome. We didn't have to do it a second time. Today's story is I Am Stronger Than My Anger by Elizabeth Cole. The sun was shining and the clouds were blue, so little Nick and his parents went to the zoo. Wow, Nick exclaimed, clapping his hands with glee when he spotted a koala up in a tree. Mom, I want that koala, little Nick said. But his mom said no, and she shook her head. Honey, this koala has a mom and dad. If we take it home, they will all be sad. But I want it, Nick stomped and started to shout. He was angry and wanted to let it all out. I want that koala, he said, was about to blow. But for the last time, his mother said no. Then Nick felt his heart beating hard and fast. His brain felt like it was going to blast. His throat tightened and his eyes filled with tears. He began to flush from his toes and his ears. Suddenly, little Nick heard a strange noise. Hey, psst, over here. It was the monkey's voice. Why are you angry? The monkey was curious. 'Cause I can't have a koala, Nick was furious. I see, the monkey was thinking in his cage. You may have to learn to control your anger and rage. There are many ways to get rid of anger, I know. The first is to take a deep breath and then slowly blow. Little Nick did what the monkey said. He inflated his body from toe to head. Then he slowly exhaled all the air he had. But I still feel a little angry and sad. Sorry. Now take a deep breath and count to 10. Little Nicky did it over and over again. The monkey said, You feel better now, I'll bet. Little Nick sighed because he was still upset. When you feel angry, it's good to exercise, Kangaroo said with a gleam in his eyes. You can jump up and down or do sit-ups or squats. That's how you'll get rid of your angry spots. Little Nick started exercising at the zoo. My anger is fading. What you said is true. Shh, a voice said. I'm trying to calm down here. Nick spotted the parrot, so he went nearer. Clearly, the colorful parrot was furious. Why are you angry? Nick asked. He was curious. The parrot sighed deeply, and this was his reply. My sister is sleeping in my bed. I don't know why. There are many ways to deal with anger, you see. My favorite way is to count the leaves on a tree. You can do anything that will make you feel better. You can talk to someone or write an apology letter. An apology letter? Nicky widely opened his eyes. The parrot continued. He sounded quite wise. Maybe you've been wrong. You need to think well instead of starting to blush, blow, and yell. Little Nick heeded the parrot's advice. He thought about it well. Not once, but twice. The koala is a wild creature, and he has a right to be left alone. My mother was right. Little Nick took a deep breath and counted to 10. He exercised over and over again. No longer angry with no reason to worry, Little Nick went to his mom and she said he was sorry. Nick's mother noticed that he'd stopped shouting out loud. She was surprised by his calm behavior. She was proud. She laughed, she hugged tightly and kissed her good little boy. Instead of a koala, I'll buy you a new toy. Expressing your anger in some ways can be bad. It upsets people and could make them mad. Don't allow your anger to ruin anyone's day. Express it safely in your own special way. The end. I'd like to invite the young and young at heart to join me in our read.
our meditation reading and our time of silence, and when the music begins, all who would like to are invited to come to the chalice table using this aisle and light a candle representing a joy or concern you might be holding in your heart today. Please come up one at a time using that aisle, and keep in mind the further lit candles are placed in the sand, the less of a risk to the next person's hand. If you're with us online today, you're welcome to share your joys and concerns in that chat feature. Please join me in a spirit of meditation. Settle into stillness. If there is a fear that visits you from the past, allow it to be present without judgment. If there is regret, allow it to soften. If there is uncertainty, allow it to rest. You need not solve everything today. You need not be certain of everything today. You need not carry every burden today. Instead, consider these words. I am more than my fears. I am more than my mistakes. I am worthy of compassion. I am worthy of belonging. I am worthy of love. I now invite you into a time of silence. J.L. Wright is an award-winning poet and active member of U2C3. She is committed to living the life of a poet, observing and documenting the voice of the people. Please welcome J.L.
I don't know if anybody recognized at the back table there are some homemade bookmarks that are where did my notes go? Oh, sorry, there you go. Oh, thank you. That are in the back. That is, one side is a poem called Forgiveness, which is kind of where this message started from. And the other side is a poem about love that I've read here previously. So please feel free to take those. So the start of this message is, I don't forgive, and that's the title of it. And many of you, many people in general, would be uncomfortable saying that. It seems harsh, unspiritual perhaps, maybe even wrong. But we live in a culture that treats forgiveness as the highest moral achievement. And so when someone has been harmed, the question eventually arises, have you forgiven them yet? Sometimes it arrives gently. Sometimes it arrives like a demand. Sometimes it arrives from a well-meaning friend or a family member or a clergy person or a therapist, and even strangers who believe forgiveness is necessary as a final step towards healing. But I don't forgive. And I want you to look at something else, a different perspective, and I'm going to take you there. Because forgiveness is complicated. Some wounds, forgiveness is very difficult or impossible. Forgiveness is not the final task or even the most important task when we're moving towards healing in the process. A person can heal, grow, and live a meaningful life without ever reaching what others would call forgiveness. These are uncomfortable conversations, and as Unitarian Universalists, we've never been afraid of uncomfortable conversations. In fact, in the 10 o'clock group, we start our morning discussions with uncomfortable conversations. We're a faith tradition that values curiosity over certainty, exploration over dogma, and honest wrestling over easy answers. So today, rather than telling you that forgiveness is necessary or not, I invite you to examine what forgiveness is and what it is not. Because many of us have inherited confusing messages about forgiveness. Some of us have been told that forgiveness means forgetting. It does not. We are told that forgiveness means excusing harmful behavior. It does not. We're told that forgiveness means restoring a relationship. It does not. We're told that forgiveness means pretending everything is okay, and it certainly does not mean that. In fact, the deepest harm occurs when forgiveness is demanded before accountability has taken place. And when someone says you need to forgive and move on, they sometimes mean, I would like this discomfort to end, but healing cannot be rushed. The writer and activist Bell Hook once said, rarely, if ever, are any of us healed in isolation. Healing is an act of communion. Healing happens in relationship. Healing happens in truth. Healing happens when reality is acknowledged rather than denied. That means that we have to distinguish between the ideas that are often treated as identical: forgiveness, reconciliation, accountability, and repair. They are not the same thing. Forgiveness is an internal experience. Reconciliation is the rebuilding of trust. Accountability is accepting responsibility and betrayed them. Perhaps they survived abuse. Perhaps they experienced rejection from a family member. Perhaps a religious community harmed them. Those wounds are real. The consequences are real. The pain that remains for years in such circumstances, insisting on forgiveness, can create another form of harm. It can place responsibility on healing on the person who was wounded rather than the person who caused the injury. It can ask victims to carry the burden and restoring that moral balance, and even burden them with that, which was never theirs to carry. The poet and civil rights leader, Maya Angelou, said, "It's one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself to forgive. Forgive everybody." Many people have found liberation in that insight. Yet Angelou's words point towards something important. Forgiveness is a gift. A gift cannot be demanded. A gift can't be extracted, and a gift can't be owed. It can only be given freely. Even in history, the word's origin, forgive, comes from an interesting perspective. You might think that it's way older than it is, but it actually comes from Old English. And it comes from forgive, built from the meaning for, meaning completely, and give, to give. The root of forgiveness meant to give up something completely, to release it. But originally, it's associated with remitting a debt of some kind, relinquishing a claim of some kind. The word evolved into a moral and spiritual idea by letting go of a resentment, even to the extent of a complete pardon. And we know what that word has been used with lately. What's striking is that forgiveness was understood as a gift, something freely offered, never demanded. And the etymology reminds us that forgiveness, when it comes, is not an obligation or a requirement for healing. It's a voluntary act of release. And like any genuine gift, it cannot be owed, extracted, or forced. And sometimes it cannot be given at all. As Unitarian Universalists, we affirm inherent worth and dignity of every person. Notice that that principle does not say that every action is worthy. It does not say that every choice is acceptable. It does not say that every relationship should continue. Human worth and human behavior are not the same thing. A person can possess inherent dignity while still being responsible for tremendous harms. This is where accountability enters the conversation. Accountability is not punishment. At its best, the accountability is truth-telling. It's the willingness to say, yes, I did this. Yes, it caused harm. And yes, I am responsible. Yes, I must participate in the repair. In many religions, forgiveness is connected to repentance. Like in Judaism, for example, there's a profound emphasis on making amends and seeking reconciliation. Words alone are not enough. Transformation matters. Repair matters. Actions matter. This insight freely deepens relevant because our culture, too, seeks forgiveness without accountability. We want healing without truth. We want reconciliation without change. We want restoration without repair. But communities are not healed in that way. Relationships are not healed in that way. Souls are not healed in that way. The UU theologian Forrest Church described religion as helping us face the human condition itself. Part of the human condition is that we hurt one another. Part of the human condition is that we disappoint one another. Part of the human condition is that every one of us will eventually need both mercy and accountability. Neither one alone will suffice. Justice without compassion becomes cruelty. Compassion without justice becomes permissiveness. The challenge is to learn how to hold both. This requires humility. And humility begins with acknowledging that we do not always know what another person's healing should look like. For example, some people, forgiveness is liberating. For others, boundaries are liberating. Some require reconciliation to become possible, and for others, distance becomes necessary. There's no universal timetable. There's no single path. There is no spiritual pride awarded for arriving first. I do not believe in asking for or granting forgiveness. I see it as an act that places one person above another. To forgive someone is to assume authority, to judge them, their actions, and then decide whether they deserve absolution. In my view, no human being has the right. We're all flawed. We're all capable of causing harm, and none of us occupies a moral position high enough to grant pardon. If someone hurts me, I do not need to forgive them. What matters is that they acknowledge the harm that they caused, apologize sincerely, and try to repair the damage. And if I hurt someone, I do not seek their forgiveness. I would rather take responsibility for my actions, admit my mistake, and make amends than ask another person to relieve me of my guilt. Accountability is more meaningful to me than forgiveness because it focuses on actions rather than moral judgment. This belief shapes how I view myself, just as I do not forgive others and I do not think I need to forgive myself. When I make mistakes, I can't erase them by declaring myself forgiven. Instead, I have to live with those consequences. I have to learn from what happened. I have to strive to do better in the future. For example, if I betray a friend's trust, the solution is not for them to forgive me or for me to forgive myself. It's for me to rebuild that trust through my actions. If someone wrongs me, I may choose to move on. I may choose to set tighter boundaries or end the relationship. But I do not frame that decision as forgiveness. Sometimes healing begins simply by refusing to allow harm to define the rest of our story. That may or may not include forgiveness. What matters is that we are reclaiming our lives. The goal is not to become people who never hurt. The goal is to not become people who never remember. The goal is not even to become people who forgive. The goal is to become people who are free. Free enough to tell the truth. Free enough to establish healthy boundaries. Free enough to seek justice. Free enough to remain compassionate. Free enough to keep our hearts open without abandoning wisdom. And perhaps this brings us to the deepest question. If forgiveness is not always required, what is? What is required for healing? I suspect the answer is different for each person. But certain elements appear again and again. Truth, accountability, compassion, repair, community, and time. And I added an extra slide. Especially time. Many of life's deepest wounds are not healed by insight alone. They are gradually healed, patiently, sometimes imperceptibly, day after day, year after year, through honest conversations, through healthy boundaries, through acts of courage, through moments of grace, and through communities that remind us that we do not have to carry these burdens alone. Perhaps forgiveness eventually arrives. Perhaps it does not. Either way, healing remains possible. That may be the most important thing we can remember today, that healing remains possible. You do not need to force forgiveness. You do not need to pretend a wound never happened. You do not need to reconcile with everyone who has harmed you. You do not need to abandon your anger before it has taught you what it came to teach you. And remember that your worth has never depended on achieving some kind of perfect spiritual state called forgiveness. You are already worthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Joy. Now is the time that we participate in the offering. And, Now is the time we participate in the care of our church community by giving and receiving the offering. If you're contributing to your pledge today, be sure to write pledge on your check or cash envelope. When the music begins, the ushers will present the offering basket to you, and all you have to do is drop your offering in. In addition to the baskets, and for those joining us at home, we have several options for making your offering. Please use the links on screen to give through our website by either PayPal or by using the Vanco mobile app. Your offering, no matter how you make it, is gratefully received. Please remain seated after the music is over for our closing song and benediction.
Doctor, my eyes have seen the years and the slow parade of fears without crying. Now I want to understand. I have done all that I could to see the evil and the good without hiding. You must help me if you can. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what is wrong. Was I unwise to leave them open for so long? 'Cause I have wandered through this world, and as each moment has unfurled, I've been waiting to awaken from these dreams. People go just where they will. I never noticed them until I got this feeling that it's later than it seems. Doctor, my eyes, tell me what you see. I hear their cries to say if it's too late for me. Doctor, my eyes, this the price for having learned how not to cry? Doctor, my eyes cannot see the sky. Is this the price for having learned how not to cry?
Please rise as you are willing and able to sing our closing song.
As we leave this friendly place, love give light to every face. May the kindness which we learn light our hearts till we return.
May we leave this gathering with gentleness towards ourselves, meet others with understanding, seek truth with open minds, and build community with open hearts. Go in peace, go in love, and go in the confidence that your humanity is enough. Blessed be and amen.